I don't think a lot of caterers in Nigeria, as our case study, because caterers abroad can be very fancy. They don't really, their own is make the jollof rice, make the fried rice, make the pounded yam, make the food banks. They are out of there. Most times you see they use that scoop thing. I just, is when you see the person has some sort of educational background to food, they now start trying to make it look fancy, make it look, yeah.
You just put leaf and stick and some things.
Yeah.
Now, I believe that some chef would actually go into the whole catering thing because, I mean,
Of money.
of money. And is it
Yeah.
actually a bad
I,
thing?
I was talking to a big caterer in Ibadan and she was like, oh, you don't do events. She was like, so you don't need money then? And I'm like, my sis, my good sis. Not everybody that is looking for money in places that don't lose. Because I know myself, if I do, let's say if I do 5 catering gigs back to back, I'll probably spend 1 month on bed rest. That thing is not easy. Even if you have your catering team, you still have to shop, you still have to be there, you still have to do quality control, damage control, all the because I don't think I can be the kind of business owner that will just leave it to the team and just. So I was telling her like, I need money, but I'm not looking for money where it's not missing. And usually when people want me to do events, I'm like 50 people, yeah, fine. And once you're talking 200, 500, if you especially want me on the job, then I'll tell you I have to bring in more people.
Hi. Welcome to another episode of Dunum with Data. Like you know what Dunum is. Discover, understand, nurture, utilize, and maximize. First of all, I would say a big thank you to everyone that supported this project. I mean, the subscribers, you've watched, you've liked the video. Thank you so much. Please keep subscribing and keep liking. If this is your first time watching this podcast, yep. And I'm going to dive right into it. My name is Data Akinola, and I'm the host for this podcast. And yes, I have a guest today. Drum roll. I have someone that, don't let me start the story. We'll continue with the story later. But she's a chef, and she does so many other things. And she's actually very good at what she does. So we'll be diving into the culinary world today. And she's a creative in her own space. And it's such a wonderful thing to have seen her, grown over the years. I mean, in all aspects, physically, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, everything. Exactly. Anyways, I have Chef Nita with me, Olushola Laibalogo.
Thank you.
All
Thank you
right.
for having me.
Yeah,
Nice
welcome
introduction.
to this podcast. It's good to have you, though.
It's good to be here.
I think this is the third time I'll be interviewing you.
Yes, so
By the way, she said my free trial is over.
it's over.
All right. So you are a chef, a culinary executive. You said you want to
Yes.
change your title.
No, I've changed it already.
Okay, you've changed it already. Okay.
It's just that I can't change my Instagram like
Oh, that's like a branding already, Chef
yes,
Nita.
there.
No. But before we even get to that, I'm going to ask about that later. I'm going to ask a question, but it's in two phases.
Okay.
So, when did you discover that you knew how to cook, or you were fascinated by cooking or by food? And number two is, when was your Eureka moment of like, oh, I'm going to make a living out of this? Two different
Yes,
scenarios.
there are two different questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so I used to say it was in uni when I used to cook for a lot of people that I don't know if I would say I knew how to cook per se.
Okay.
I would say what made me even check out culinary arts is because I was tired of eating rice and yam
Oh, okay.
and beans. And I was like, I remember there was this day I woke up and I was like, what am I going to eat? And then we were like, rice. And then I was like, no. And then we were like, beans. And then I was like, no. And then we were like, yam. I'm like, what? There has to be more to this. And then I remember my mom bought me a cookbook. It's still in my school right now. It's a rice Bible. And it was a rice and potato Bible. And from there, I had like many recipes to make with rice, since it's rice we have. And then from there, I'm like, I started checking out different recipes, different other ingredients. And then I just kind of started enjoying cooking and enjoying food. So I became a chef because of myself.
Oh, okay.
More or less.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But okay, so when did I decide I could make a living from it? I don't know. I don't know. But I think in uni, people used to, it wasn't really a living, but it was good for me. So my friends, when they come back from breaks, they will come and drop yam in my room, drop rice, drop all the food
Mm-hmm.
stuff, yeah. And then they will call me, I'm coming to eat today. And then it just became a thing. People will bring carton of Indomie and
Mm-hmm.
drop because they know I will make the
You make
Indomie for
Indomie.
them. Yeah, so then I used to bake in uni. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I guess I started making money from baking. So after culinary school, it just made sense to go into cooking as a business.
Wow, that's interesting. So basically, it was based on demand. There was a demand for it, and then you just decided, okay, let me just go on with it. So what was the path before you decided to move to
I wanted
culinary?
to be a politician.
You studied what course again?
Political science. And they didn't give me. I picked it.
Well, you picked it yourself
Yes.
because you wanted to become a politician.
Yeah, so when I was in secondary school studying, when we are doing government, I realized that there are so many ideologies with politics that I feel like a lot of politicians do not apply. Checking the background of like the politicians that we have, it's just people that decided they wanted to go into power. Like now I think it's changing. There are a lot more people that are in politics with some kind of educational background of whatever they are going into politically. I believe I may still end up in some form of government
Okay.
eventually. But yes, I really wanted to go into politics. So I didn't want to be the average politician. So I was like, I thought I was going to learn so much.
But
But I mean, we did exams and stuff.
and
And yeah, is what it is.
what is it
That's
exactly?
all I have to say.
you know pass.
I passed now.
Mm.
I passed to the extent that I could pass.
To
No,
the
it
best of your
wasn't.
ability.
No, it wasn't about passing or not. It's just like, for example, in my 300 level, I was looking forward to 300 level because I had seen the brochure in part one,
Okay.
and then there was theories of war or a history of war, something about Warsaw. And so I was so excited, and then I wanted to pick the course. And then they were like, they've not done that course for how many years? So, like, all the fun things I thought I would learn, I didn't. We did more of comparative politics and all of
Oh, okay.
that. Yeah, so that's why I'm like, it was a bummer. And then doing actual school politics was not as fun.
Or you were into school politics,
Yeah,
like SU and stuff. Did you hold any position in school?
yeah.
What position?
I know. That is in my past.
No, let us
We
know
have scrubbed
now.
it.
No,
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was in my department. So
okay,
the
what
thing
the
was,
position?
I was in the parliament.
Oh, okay.
I had a nickname, Honorable Blackberry,
Why did they call you Blackberry?
because I used to press my Blackberry in parliament. No, so the thing is,
So you're a bad parliamentarian.
no, so it was an off-looking thing. So I'd be pressing my phone, and they would think that I was not listening, and then I'll just be like, "Point of order,"
Really?
and then they're like, I really scattered things. So almost got beat up. Yeah, that's why I say it's in my past. Let's leave it in my past.
But it could still be in the future.
Not
I mean, we
that.
see about leaders fighting in the.
I'm not getting.
I mean, that
involved
could be
in-
a very good skill.
I said I don't want.
Okay, all right. Let's leave that and all. So because it reminds me of the story of one of my friends. You know, he's not a big business guy, but while we were in school, we did engineering together. You know, he was the one that was always buying the handouts, the photocopies, and distribute and all that. And we got 400 level. My bar, I mean, the CGPA wasn't looking nice, and he
cute.
just had a revelation and he said, "I want to go into." Business and all that. And he started preaching the whole business thing that it got me annoyed to the point I had to challenge. I was like, Babana, because you did fail. Now why you did go into business? He said, no, no.
With friends
no."
like you, who needs enemies? Continue, I'm listening.
But that was the truth now. Come on, you couldn't deceive me. You're like, because he's not a big business guy right now and all that. And it just speaks to the fact that sometimes The reason why we go into some parts is because we were failing in some other parts.
Oh, okay.
You know, but that wasn't your case, right? You were passing.
I mean, it's not like I came out with first class, but I wasn't failing.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. Now let's go back to the culinary.
And by the
experience.
way, I still even use my certificates to consult for a political party that
Are you serious?
exists in Nigeria today. So yeah, it's not.
Wow.
Like,
So 2027. Are we
it's not.
looking at?
No, we're not looking at. I'm just telling you, I didn't fail. Let's move on.
So we shouldn't be shocked if you're coming out.
I'm
for
not
a
going
post,
to probably run for any position.
but they
That's-
might appoint you, right?
Maybe.
I mean,
If
you heard
they
it here
do,
first. You heard it
who
here
am I
first.
not to serve my country?
You know, recently they've been bashing. Is it Tunde Onokoya for taking pictures with the president and all that? You know. And
Oh no.
so that-
Let's move on. Let's move
all right,
on.
let's move
move on.
So culinary school and all that. How's the experience being a chef? Because to be honest, like I said earlier, if I hear chef, all I hear is money, expensive.
What?
To be honest, yeah. I mean, no, we have caterers.
Caterers have money. Oh.
Now, what's the difference between a caterer and a chef? And there's another one that they call olokpo. Is it olokpo?
Ah.
And all that.
Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, okay. Let me start. So the olokos are the ones that cook for large events, mostly always hired by caterers.
Oh, okay.
So the caterers can be olokos themselves, if like maybe they were doing small work and then now they have like a lot of people. But caterers largely are the ones that cook at parties. All those party, plenty food, and that's why I don't understand why chefs try to dumb down or make caterers look less, because it takes skill to be able to cook for mass number of people. Chefs can be caterers as well. A lot of chefs have catering businesses, and like that's something I've been trying to tell myself, I can do it, but I'm getting there. But so with chefs, they are more skilled in understanding like the flavor profiles, different recipes they can come up with. A chef ideally should be able to do a dish creation, bring something out of nothing. And I know there's nothing, like people say there's nothing new under the sun, but like you should be able to create original dishes, original recipes. You should be able to do proper menu engineering and all of that. And so there's a way that all of them can work together and be synchronized. It's not one or the other. So
okay.
a chef can have a catering business and be a caterer, but most times, because when you go to culinary school, you get fixated on things like plating, things like the aesthetics, things like flavor profile. That's when you want to age your meats, you want to have a vinaigrette and all of. I don't think a lot of caterers in Nigeria, as our case study, because caterers abroad can be very fancy. They don't really, their own is make the jollof rice, make the fried rice, make the pounded yam, make the food banks. They are out of there. Most times you see they use that scope thing. I just is when you see the person has some sort of educational background to food, they now start trying to make it look fancy, make it look
You just put leaf and stick and some things.
yeah.
Make it look
They start.
like cooking and all. So I mean, I think like let's talk about defining niche. So I spoke to a photographer once, and he was saying, "Oh, he's a street photographer. Yeah, it takes pictures, you know, and all that." He said, "But I don't know they sell, so he has to do the weddings, which is
Yeah.
every day, and all that. And but he was complaining that he was already losing his niche, basically his brand,
Yeah.
and that. Now, I believe that some chef would actually go into the whole catering thing because, I mean,
Of money.
of money. And is it
Yeah.
actually a bad
I,
thing?
I was talking to a big caterer in Ibadan, and she was like, "Oh, you don't do events." She was like, "So you don't need money then?" And I'm like, my sis, my good sis. It's not everybody that is looking for money in places that don't lose. Because I know myself, let's say if I do 5 catering gigs back to back, I'll probably spend 1 month on bed rest. That thing is not easy. Even if you have your catering team, you still have to shop, you still have to be there, you still have to do quality control, damage control, all the because I don't think I can be the kind of business owner that will just leave it to the team and just. So I was telling her like, I need money, But I'm not looking for money where it's not missing. And usually when people want me to do events, I'm like 50 people. Yeah, fine. And once you're talking 200, 500, if you especially want me on the job, then I'll tell you have to bring in more people, and then maybe I'll oversee the project. But that's I'll be running from pillar to post. I'm not there yet. So yes, money is a huge motivator. But I mean, I did some events where I realized that money is not everything. Your integrity is more important, and so you see some people they can we move on?
No, it's just some people. I like the path you're going to.
No, you see some people they are loud on the outside. They take a lot of jobs, but behind them everybody is like never
Complaining.
book this person again. And so it's like one hit wonders everywhere. You'd see if you see their Instagram or like whatever social media they're on, it looks like they're doing a lot of work. But when you really listen to what people are saying about their food, it's bad. And I don't want to be that person. Because if you make a mistake once, it's fine. But if you keep making mistakes at different people's events, or maybe it's not a mistake, you just keep messing it up, people are going to stop patronizing you. But because new people have seen the people you are posting, so it's like a web of plenty bad reviews, and that's terrible.
All right. So, someone watching right now is like interested in the culinary profession. Now, what are the parameters in which the person can? Okay, I want to be a caterer, I want to be a chef, and all that. Like, what are the qualities for you? Now, you say you like you can't cook more than because of the stress. So if you don't like stress, let's say that's number one. If you don't like stress, go and do.
You no, wait, there's nothing that is not stressful. It's just that the level of so there was a catering gig I did. It was in the middle of a lot of our hot season showers. And imagine, have you been beside all these cooking pots, all these
the big ones?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you been beside it when it's on?
No.
Good. You should try it.
Why?
Then you'll be able to picture what I'm saying. Anybody that's done it before. Now imagine having 4 of those laid out in a place and moving between those pots.
Oh, they eat, right?
You just come and be thanking God for your salvation. I was like, what pushed me
to do this thing?
Did I do it? Yes. Will I do that again? No. And it was for a stretch of days. So when I tell you the fire never went out from the pots, like different things were always cooking, because we're doing breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's not what it's for me. The way I was so burnt out, and I didn't even enjoy it at some point. And again, it's key for me. I didn't go into culinary arts I did it for myself. So that's why I always tell people, like, me is very important in the equation. But yeah, anybody that wants to go into shall brace up. A lot of people are packaging. A lot of people are packaging. A lot of people have financial backing. Some people are laundering money. So don't go into it for the aesthetics, really? You see. Yes.
They launder money through catering and
I've had offers though.
Are you serious? Like, this is the first time I'm hearing this.
That should not be the first time.
I'm serious. This is the first time. I know of other businesses, but catering?
Not catering.
No. Oh, the
restaurant business.
Oh, restaurant business.
Oh. See, anything that has units. Anyway, this is not where I will start speaking about.
No, speak.
But anything that has units can be very.
Oh, true. Though.
Yeah, because you can just open the restaurant, put the number of seats, make a very big pricing menu, and then start saying you had so guests.
Now I can see it.
And then.
I mean, it's a no-brainer, but I mean, why did you say no?
No, I don't want to.
Why?
Because again, yes, my faith, but no, more of like my conscience. I don't think I would be happy knowing that that's how I made my money.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people can justify it that, oh, you take the money and then you use it to do something good. But then at the end of the day, I'm even one of those people that the day I try to chase is the day that they will catch all of us. So I'm like, prison is not going to be a good look on me.
No, no.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, true.
So, I don't think it's for me. Others may, but I won't.
Okay.
No, like others may, but I won't. I just have realized that I need to determine what I want to be, and I really choose peace of mind and fear of God. I'm not going to do it.
Okay, now, so you're two talking about the industry and all that, and the issue of money. So how do you make money? Now, caterers in this industry, most of them, because the catering gig, like you said, the caterer that said you're not interested. So how do you make money as a chef? And how do you get your customers? How do you market it? What's the secret behind your success?
There's no secrets. So how do I make money? I think a huge part of the money I make comes from consulting.
Okay.
I consult for restaurants, for food businesses, really, a huge chunk of it. Then I recently started my school. I have a hub, a culinary hub. So I've been doing that like on the low since, but I mean I just officially opened the doors to people, which was quite scary because the permanence of it. So I have that. So those are like, I have a restaurant. The problem with that restaurant is initially I was doing single unit sales and it was stressing my life. And then I realized, why don't I do bulk? And that's where it's now leading me to this catering, because we started doing bulk, like bulk burgers, so a box of 12 or a box of 6. Yes, so we have those kind of offers, so like soup bowls and all of that. That's what we do. So it's not loud, it's not. I keep telling my team, we need to post on Instagram. But they're like, if we post now, people start ordering. You see? I mean, because I micromanage a bit too much, I can't just leave everybody that do it before someone says, Chef Nita, this and this. My name is on the line. And that's even one of the reasons I tried to avoid advertising the food business with my Chef Nita page. Because I wanted to give it some sort of autonomy, like see if it can thrive. I mean, I can apply all the principles without people knowing. Because when I was selling single units, I remember some of my friends, they called me by 7:30, said they were hungry and please, I should make burger, that they want to buy burgers in the night. Now I'm like, it's because you know it's me. Because the restaurant is closed. It's closed on the store. You can't order, but because you know me, that's why
they call you personally.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, never again. So I just kind of, so most times when people say, what's the name of your restaurant, I'm like,
so you are not marketing it like you're meant to market it.
I'm not marketing
on purpose.
Yes, I'm not marketing it as Chef Nita.
Okay.
So like we do some sponsored ads. Somebody called me from Lagos and say, oh yeah, is that your brother? I'm like, yeah. When you're coming to Lagos, please tell me I want to order burgers. I'm like, why would I do that? No, you to think about it. Why will I do that?
To make more money.
Okay. All right.
I mean, isn't that...
See, from consulting, I really enjoy consulting because from consulting, you make a lot of money. And you do the work and it's like a limited number of time. I have a friend that is always saying that when he sees me posting stuff about my work, my consulting work, is like, this one don't broke. She don't find new clients. Because once I can get everything, just do, I like to pour my heart into the kitchens. What they do with whatever I've taught them once I leave, that's really their business.
So let's talk about consultancy also. So we have a lot of people that they will just go to school or learn some things and they become consultants.
Good for them.
You know, or I mean, in some professions, you say this person is a, so because I work on radio and all that, just get yourself airtime on radio. People see you as an authority.
Yes.
in that stuff, and they'd be like, oh, they want to, and they start paying for consultancy, and we've seen a lot of bad eggs in the consultancy space. When was it as a result of demand that you decided to start consulting, or was it because you felt like, hey, I don't spend 20 years for this business, so at least I've grown to the point whereby I can become a consultant?
Okay.
Which is it?
So I found myself starting up a lot of restaurants.
How did you find yourself?
I don't know. Okay, first client ever was like one of my aunties. She was starting up a business. I'm like, oh yeah, chef, come and help me. And then I got there, and it turns out nothing was set. And then I was now doing the plan, putting everything. And I study a lot. I think that's one of the things. I take a lot of short courses online and all of that. So immediately I saw what was ahead of me. I think I took a course or two or more to find out like what structures we had to have and all of that. And then I did that, and then I set up a restaurant. That restaurant was in Lekki in Lagos. So her friends saw the restaurant and like, oh. So I did everything from I think the only thing I didn't do the decor and all of that, but like all kitchen things, deciding the menu, the plating, buying the plates. I did all of that. And so from there, it was more of like word of mouth. When somebody else now says, oh, I see what you did here, come and do it for me. And that was even what kind of brought me back to Ibadan, because I was in Abuja working.
Okay.
At the time, I got a client in Ibadan. And so I came to Ibadan. And then man trapped me. Then I met my husband. He was the architect on that project.
Oh.
Yeah,
So that's how you guys met?
that's how we met.
Aww.
It's so cute, right? And then he was like, do you have to go back to Abuja? I'm like, sure. Anyways, look at me here, being in Ibadan. So I've done
Because of man. Continue, please.
work. Brought
And man.
me. Yes, a man. And so I did one restaurant in Ibadan, and then that person told other people, and then other people, and then I've been doing restaurants in Ibadan for a bit now.
Wow.
But then I've chilled on Ibadan restaurants. As I told you, I'm going back to Lagos.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. So basically, it's there's a part of education. You did online courses and then referrals, and because you did a good job in the first place and all that.
So I think that the online courses I did were just to even really make sure I don't do nonsense, because I was like, when you have an idea of what you have to do, but you need to speak in professional lingua. So yeah, there's that. And so while education is important, doing a good job is
it's important, in quotes.
Yes.
And all that. So now, still talking about this whole consultancy thing. So they're stuck between this is the demand on me, but this is what I want to be known for. How do you balance the two? Like, for example, just let's say I want to become a chef, but the demand right now on me is that, oh, come and cater in this place, catering job here and there. And I really want to move up. Now, this is beyond, culinary now. It happens in various industries and all that. How do I now get to move from that part?
You choose what you put out. That's what I think it is. You choose what you put out. So, for example, there are things I do that I'm like, maybe not post this yet. And then there are other things that... So, like, there are things, for example, did you know that I have a tea business?
A tea business?
Yeah.
Like tea?
Yes.
Like tea bag, tea?
Yes.
Really?
Good. You don't know, because I'm still in the testing phase.
Okay.
But there are people that... There's even somebody that's like, I forgot that tea on Sunday, and she's like, must I come to your house to get the tea? But I wouldn't put it out because I'm not ready. But for the past 3 years, I've been having an event at my place where we have a yoga and tea event. So there are a few people that know me for tea. But will I put that on Instagram yet? No. But when I put it out, you will know. And everybody will now know me for teas. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just what you put out. People, when I always do this thing, it seems a bit self evolved or narcissistic or whatever terms the kids are slapping on things these days. But I go to my Instagram feed and I look at it and I say, if somebody goes straight, what would they think I am? What would they like? What idea of me would they get? And like with all the information, I Google myself the information that is out there, and then I get an idea of how I want to, because I do this quarterly thing, like, okay, what direction are we going this year? And then I maybe change the way I'm going.
You know, I'm in the talk business and all that. So I hardly do MC jobs. Like I tell people, I hardly do, what's it called now? I don't even do weddings. You know. But if you bring wedding, I go do them in case, just, you know. And people say, at the point in time, this was years ago, I was like, I don't get MC jobs. I get voiceover jobs more. And I realized that what you said is actually true. It's what you put out. You know, if you're intentional. At a point in time, it was MC, but people didn't know I was doing MC jobs. Until someone was like, guy, I put this thing, I was like, I really don't want to be known.
Yeah.
At the point in time, my brand was MC Data. I had to discourage it. That look, I'm not MC Data, I'm Data. Data, don't put the MC there.
Remember that face?
Yeah. You remember the face? Okay. And I just wanted to be known as Data, you understand? And that talk thing. So a lot of people, like someone called me, or was it last year thereabouts? He's also a radio presenter, and he was like telling me that, how does he? I was like, look, just choose what you want to put out. You know, you could be a radio presenter and also do other things. You could, but choose what you put out. Now, this one is just one recently. And if my boss is watching this, he's going to really scold me. And they were correcting me on that was a program I presented a program like every week, and they were saying, no, Data, you need to do this. And I was looking at them in my mind. I was like, I really don't want to, because you know, I could, but this is not my focus. I don't want people to know me as this. So me pushing it out is like I do a lot of current affairs and politics program and all that. People don't. I hardly put them. I've interviewed a lot of people, but I don't push them out because I really don't want to be known as the current affairs guy, the guy that talks, you know, interviews this politician today, that politician tomorrow, and you know, like a lot of times.
But we make you money now.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Okay.
I want something else. I want my brand to be something else. You know, this whole checking. There was something LinkedIn did last year, whereby they do a summary of. They define your brand based
like
on like a rap and all that, and that thing was really insightful. When they did my own rap, I was like, really? And the whole Dunum concept was what LinkedIn. I was like, yeah. And even that was even more reason I said, look, this year I'm going to embrace this thing more because that's who I am. I mean, and that is what I want the world, you know, to see me as and all that. So I really connect with that point. All right, moving on with the conversation. I said I was going to give you a surprise.
Okay, surprise.
You know. So there was a time I wanted to become a pastor. What happened? Your goal was to become a pastor.
I realized I don't have to have the title to do the work. That's it.
Let me recollect again. You know, I remember you were so adamant of becoming a pastor.
I realized I got ordained.
What happened?
I got ordained.
Yeah, I remember you got ordained.
Yeah.
So.
And I realized the title was stopping me from doing the work.
So you're still doing the work, but without the title. Okay? In your church, in your space.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because now let's even go into that area right now.
This is so necessary.
Let's go into that area. You know, there's this back and forth, this argument of you being a pastor is not a profession. I believe some people believe.
Oh, why are we going here?
Well, we have to go there. You know, pastors also have to have a job. You can't just focus on being a pastor and, you know, be making money from tithes and offerings. They're using our money, you know, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts.
Yes, I want to hear your own perspective because you're an ordained pastor. Are you not an ordained pastor? You said it now.
I was ordained.
So once ordained, never.
I don't know. I don't know how it's.
Do you have to be reordained?
I think I think the thing is, I have come to the understanding before we go to your question
Okay.
is before the foundations of the world, I have been called to be something.
Okay.
A title will not change that calling
Hmm.
or will not add to the calling. But if I am going to do the work that God has called me to do, I need to find the best way to do it with the minimal amount of distraction.
Oh, okay.
Now, back to your
My question.
I think that the church structure, my God,
Let's go there.
has a lot of ups and downs. And so I believe that if somebody is going to devote their entire time into caring for people, shepherding them, which is feeding spiritually, which means that before I can come and preach, I have to pray and read my Bible if I'm not going to just start preaching from my emotions. And then I remember one of my mentors growing up told me, before you lead anything, the amount of time you're going to lead, you should have invested at least 3 times 3 of that time. So, for example, if I'm going to preach for an hour, I should have invested at least 3 hours into studying what I'm about to preach. It's more than that in real life because it's an accumulated.
Yeah.
So, if somebody is going to give their entire time to preaching on maybe Wednesdays and Sundays, plus emergency calls, plus counseling, plus all of that, I believe that we should remove the distraction of, what do you call it, of looking for bread from them.
Okay.
Yes. So, and that's why we see Apostle Paul thanks the churches that give him money, because he was traveling from here to there trying to preach to them, right? And so, even though he had a skill, he was a tent maker, he didn't have time to be making tents. So, should he go hungry because he wants to preach to you? On the flip side, I believe that if you are going to do the work and we're going to watch out for your welfare, do the work. There is a form of idolatry that I believe we have these days where we exalt our pastors, even sometimes higher than God. There are different people that have come to me and told me God told them to do this, but their pastor said they should do the other thing. Who should they listen to? And I'm like, why are you? And so, anyway, his podcast that great men used to follow. That's enough.
You're not going to fall here now.
Podcast is where great men come to fall. My point is, Sha, if you suspect that it is becoming a money-making scheme, you run. But there are pastors that genuinely give all they have for the work of ministry. There are missionaries that are struggling. I saw a post this morning as I was scrolling through Instagram. It was saying adopt a widow of a fallen missionary. I was like, interesting. Because when you think about it, we're not really thinking of the people on the field. And so we should not be too attached to our finances in the way that we are always skeptical, looking for who is stealing what, who is chopping what. The point is, are you going to do the work? Because honestly, the work will be a lot easier on our pastors if all of us were preaching the gospel and doing what we had to do. But we are not. We're all busy trying to be one thing that we don't know. So ambitious. We have a very ambitious generation. And so if we were all doing it, our pastors will not have that much work and they can decide whether they want to work or they want to focus. That's all I have to say.
All right. So still on this old pastor thing. So there was a time they were calling you Pastor Shola, right? So you said the title wasn't helping matters.
Yeah.
At that point in time. How? Why? And how did you drop it and say, look?
Oh God, we're not going to talk about how I dropped it. We're not going to talk about that, but
Why?
I'll tell you the why.
Okay, tell me the why. Then.
So usually, I have a very broad variety of people that look to me for some sort of guidance. And I think the way it works for me is that people see me as very relatable and approachable, but they also understand the spiritual context of our relationship. And so they can tell you the craziest stuff. I remember there was a time I had to go to God. I said, God, please help me to control my reactions when people tell me things. And it's like when you pray to God about stuff, it just gives you a bigger test. Because one girl came to me and said, I've been meaning to tell you something. There's nobody else I can tell. I'm going to kill my dad. I'm like, hey.
What?
But because I just prayed that prayer, I was like, is there a plan on ground? And she was like, yes. And then she told me the whole plan. I was like, why though? And she was like, she told me why. And then I told her, you know what? I think if you kill this man, you let him win, Sha. And then after the whole conversation and other conversations, she decided not to kill her father.
Hallelujah.
But here's the crazy part. Do you think if I was Pastor Shola, she would have come to me?
The title and all that.
She wouldn't have told me. She would have just told her friend, and her friend could have been like, yeah, man, he guess what he deserves.
Especially when you put it on X, on Twitter. I mean, they were just like, yes,
So,
go.
You guess. But I noticed like people started getting very careful around me. They were not as open as they used to be. And the goal is to help. It's not to have a title. It's not to sit in front of church. It's not to know that even if church is full, I will have somewhere to sit. That was a big thing for me. It was so big.
Even if church is full.
I have seats in front.
You just walk in.
You just walk in.
They're like, welcome. Did you that for you, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. Right? I don't know what you're talking about. Moving
on. Okay, all right. You said you were going to tell me how you dropped the...
It was this. I just changed church.
Okay, you just changed church.
And I started from the bottom.
That way, yeah.
And now I'm still sitting in front.
Oh, you're sitting in the front seat without the
gifts and callings of God are without repentance. They found me. And be like, say
there's an ordaining there.
They be like, say you go make a good church leader.
So presently a church leader, but without the pastor
title.
Okay. I mean, when I grow up, I want to be like you. In that sense.
What do you mean?
When I grow up, I want to be like you.
Like you want to?
So I will not be pastor. I always have a seat, even though I come late to church.
And if I'm late, I don't sit in front.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Just discipline.
Okay. Now, that's going to bring me to my next, which is like the crux of this. The concept of purpose. Purpose, ministry, career. You know, some people believe that all these things need to be put under one umbrella. Some believe it has to be different. You understand? This is my business. This is my career.
Okay.
This is my, this is my purpose. What is your concept or your definition or your thoughts concerning the concept of purpose? Why are you?
No, it's because it's there are so many debates. You see, one of the things I hate about studying theology is that you have so many ideas and opinions, and then you don't even know which one is your own anymore. But if I had to reach deep into my own thoughts, I believe everything can work together. Oh, true. Now I remember why I did cooking professionally. I was at a retreat, and I was led to go to culinary school, and every time I want to drop this chef Nita thing, I pray about it. Like, am I done? Am I done? And I'm like, no. And so one of the reasons I think I even went harder this year is because I realized that there's a thing for influence, and you can reach more people, help more people by like how much more people. Like, you can help the people you know, but you can help more people if you know more people. Yeah. Anyway, I think purpose is also something that is revealed in stages, and that's why important obedience is very important.
Okay.
And so you have a, I think, at least with my life, I have a I have a like a grand when I there's some things God has shown me about my life that I know, and then there are things He says now, and then I don't know how all those things are going to
Hard up.
add up, but you just keep going. But you have, so like for example, I know like the scripture, arise and thresh, remove the weeds from the shafts. So I know that there is something about sorting, a sorting process, helping people navigating, this is good, this is bad. What's the grand scheme of things? I don't know. I'm not even trying to think too much. Just constant steps of obedience. And so that's why you can see like with David, his shepherding duties, the fighting, the bear, the everything
The lion.
helped him get to Goliath, which he was anointed. However, it gave him visibility with the people. I feel like I'm preaching. And so that's why people now started, he already had acceptance with the people already, even before he became their king.
Mm.
That's amazing, no? Because if the people saw him as that small boy, he could have been king, but you know how hard it is to rule people that don't that don't rate you. So like he had his ordination with God. God saw him as the king. The people also
Saw him as a king. Yeah.
And so it did not make sense that that is what will make the people. But God can choose whatever He chooses to make you come into your purpose. So if His purpose was to be king, being a warrior was a pathway.
Mm.
And so that's why whatever God gives you to do, big or small, you do it. Joseph was dreaming dreams in prison. Was interpreting dreams for people in prison. I mean, a lot of people will say, oh, you're already in prison, shut up. But your gifts, your work, whatever it is, will lead you to your final purpose. As long as you keep listening and asking God for direction. That's the thing. Sometimes I told you, I said that quarterly thing I do. Because I just always think about it. Like, if I die this quarter, sorry to take it to a dark place, will I be in step with God? Will I be able to? I saw a movie and then the person was crying when the person died in the movie. Like, it looks so sad. And I'm like, this is not how I want to go out.
The way you said movie and cry, it was a different movie that came to mind.
Oh my God. What I'm saying is that picture stays in my head rent free. Because in the movie, like, the person was regretting, like, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. And so I was like, I don't want to go out with regrets. And that's why I started doing that quarterly thing. Like, did I leave this quarter happy? Did I leave this quarter doing what God told me to do? I mean, there's one hanging thing that God has told me to do. My friends are doing intervention for me. I will do it, I'll do it. But I try my best to do what I'm supposed to do. So that I can be in line. So I don't think you just be like, oh, that's my purpose. Most times, even what it shows you, there's a bigger thing.
There's a bigger thing. So it unfolds every step of the way. And the whole aspect of you, the quarterly thing you do, I did a lot. And there was one of my birth, was it last year or 2 years ago? And I had a discussion with my wife and I told her that, you know, if I die today, maybe like I said, I don't try small. She'll be like, you will not die. You will not. And I'm like, no, that's not the point. I'm not trying to take you into a dark. I'm not trying to kill myself. But to be honest, I think the thought of, okay, if something happens to me today, would I be happy with, or would God be happy with what I have done? Like, have I achieved purpose? Aside from, oh, we're having fun, I'm living life and all that. The question is, okay, that's which. And I feel like there is a confirmation in your spirit that'll be like, never even do half.
You turn. And the next turning.
You get, so I feel like it's something that everybody should imbibe. At every point, quarterly, weekly, monthly, I don't know. Not to be asking yourself, well, if I die today, that's not the point. But doing a review of your life and asking yourself, okay, what have I achieved in this?
Yes.
What have I done and all that? And also, I believe that there's always a step to take at every point in time. You know, whether you need to review some things, you need to scrap some things, you need to add some things and all that. And it is very necessary. So now, for you in discovering when purpose and all that, you know, what were the first steps that you took? And you just, you know, you said, you know, that, let's call that maybe a mission, like, okay, I'm meant to help people sort out things and all that. You discovered that about yourself. How and when did you discover that? Because I believe that the question of purpose is, a lot of people are asking, how do I discover purpose? What do I do? What is the next thing for me to do? Like, I'm just living life. There's a problem, but how do I find a solution? No, the way you're looking and you're shining your eye.
I discovered it in the place of prayer.
The place, I mean, yeah, I mean, the place of communication with God, right?
Like, I just don't understand this world we live in. So I asked, I mean, what is the use? What am I doing here? And slowly but surely, I figured it out. And then, I mean, every time I'm giving myself to doing that, I feel alive, truly.
Mm.
So yeah, it's all of those things.
Okay, all right. Now I've talked about purpose and all that. You are good with cooking.
I am.
You, you're good with cooking.
Yeah.
What else are we expecting from Chef Nita? Culinary. I said I was going to ask that question, right? So why did you change? Why are you saying you're not a culinary executive and why not chef?
Because that's
again?
what I am now.
What's the difference?
I'm not a chef in terms of I don't just cook. I don't want to be known for just cooking. I want to be known for setting up businesses. I want to be known for Chef Nita's Culinary Hub, cooking, teaching people how to cook, training people. I have a consultancy business. I want to be known for that. Yeah. Starting my wellness brand soon. I want to be known for that. I'm not just a chef. I'm a culinary executive.
Like you said, it unfolds as you start things, as you continue.
Yeah. So if I put myself in the chef box, people are going to keep calling me to cook.
And you do more than cooking.
Yes.
You're also pastor. All right. So what are we expecting? What are we expecting from the brand next? What's the next thing? You said you were going to Lagos. What did Ibadan do to you?
Ibadan did not do anything to me.
So why are you moving to Lagos?
I'm not moving to Lagos. I just have a lot of people asking for my private dinners in Lagos.
Oh, there's a demand in Lagos?
Yes, there's a demand.
From Ibadan? So it's not like there's something wrong with Ibadan?
No.
It's not like they're not paying. They don't have money in Ibadan.
The people that have the money have the money. Ibadan is great. Love it.
Okay. All right, we have to wrap up this, but it's been so nice having you on the podcast, this episode, and all that. And I've learned a lot from you. You know, like I always learn a lot from you.
Oh,
thank you so much. I just hope for the best as you are going to Lagos, and hope you'll be coming back to Ibadan.
Calm down. I'm not going there. My school is in Ibadan, so I'm not running away. I just said the dinners are going to be in Lagos.
In Lagos. All right. Thank you so much. And I've been speaking with Chef Nita, and it's been a revealing conversation, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. By the way, don't forget to all right, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video. You know that you might be helping someone out there. And also thank you once again to everyone that's been on the evangelism of Dunam. Yes, discover, understand, nurture, utilize, and maximize your potential. All right, subscribe, please subscribe. Bye.
Bye.